Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the ESOC Autumn Championships 2018. Today I'll be joined by Mitoe, and this is actually the very first series that Mitoe and I have ever recorded together. We've done a few since this one, but this was the very first one where it all began, and perhaps the start of something beautiful. Mitojection? Interjectoe? I don't know about that, but what I do know is that Mitoe is an absolute joy to cast with. We flow very well. I've known him for years. I'm very comfortable with him. He's a very knowledgeable player. Many of you will remember him from the Saturday Smackdowns and pretty much every tournament. And basically, him and I have been casting a lot recently, especially this tournament. So, yes, this game in particular is a round of 16 match between PrinceofKabul and Hazza 5-4-3-2-1. Both very competent players. Hazza, in particular, probably a bit more well-prepared. He's been very active recently and is taking this tournament very seriously. So look out for him. Could be a contender for the later rounds. Should be a lot of fun. So I'll leave it there. As always, timestamps are available in the description of this video, though looking at them may spoil the outcome of the series, so be careful. We had some sound issues in this series. I apologise if the game sounds are a little bit loud during some of the battles. We do fix that. But, yes, enjoy the video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESOC Autumn Championships 2018. This is my first appearance, and I'm pleased to be back. I actually currently have quite a number of weeks off work, so it's going to be absolutely glorious. We're going to begin some of these days by casting with Mitoe, my buddy old pal, PrinceofKabul versus Hazza 5-4-3-2-1. Mitoe, how are you doing?
Hello, I am pretty good. I am ready for some AoE 3. Yeah, it's good to be casting with you. I think this is the first time we've cast together, actually.
I think you're right. I've certainly heard you cast before. And then I told you the other day I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought you were pretty good. Thought you were doing a good job.
I think I've probably heard you cast before too, maybe.
Are you sure? I don't often cast. Brilliant. All right, so this match here, PrinceofKabul versus Hazza 5-4-3-2-1. This is a match from the round of 16. So the winner of this will progress through to the semi-finals. I'm told that this is the mentor versus the grandmaster, so to speak. I thought that was pretty fun. We're getting into the whole narrative. What do you know about this, Mitoe? I heard basically that back when Hazza was a captain and he was sort of not so good, he was getting used to the game still, PrinceofKabul, who's been around perhaps much longer, took him under his wing, trained him up a bit, and introduced him to the team games, and now Hazza is quite possibly one of the best team game players in Age of Empires 3. So he's come a long way. But,
oh, definitely. Every time I've played team games with him, I'm like, all right, which team has on? All right, is he on my team? Nope. Okay, I lost. But yeah, no, he and Prince definitely played a lot together. Should be interesting. I think they know each other reasonably well, so we'll have to see if they choose to change up their playstyles a little bit as a result of that. And looks like we're actually almost ready to go into game one. It's already an interesting matchup.
Manchuria. Let's jump right into this. Interesting matchup indeed. I can see PrinceofKabul playing India, but underneath that, what did he pick?
Hazza is playing British, which is typically not a civ you'd see people play into India normally. Normally this is considered a pretty good matchup for India, so we'll have to see if Hazza has anything up his sleeve. Yeah. I know that he thinks that British is underrated in this matchup, but I'm not sure exactly what type of build he'll go for.
All right, well, let's start with PrinceofKabul. Here he is in the south of the map in the colour blue, spawning with multiple wood crates as India does. Nearby we see a 50 wood treasure. He's going to be quite pleased with that. And there is nothing in the immediate vicinity. Let's take a look around, because I always think it's interesting to see what those starting treasures are. 90 wood in the back of the base. That's on Prince's side, so he'll be pretty pleased about that. And we have an 85 wood up here as well. I believe Mitoe will just be checking the hunts and all of that good stuff. So immediately Looks like Prince of Kabul is going to be quite pleased when he sees that. And as you said, India, quite a good civ, perhaps especially against British. And on this map, perhaps in particular as well, those big, beefy wood treasures that he could come across. And perhaps more importantly, the cows. He's found 2 yaks here, and he's got 2 scouts to find them with. Off to a nice start. This elephant's going to find 2 yaks right away. Let's take a look at the Hazza. Here he is in the north of the map, in the colour red. First mana going down, extra villager popping out there, and let's left the coin on the floor. Prince is really nearby. Luckily there's no decent treasures for him to find, but yes, Prince of Kabul definitely off to a flying start with the yaks.
Yeah, definitely going to be very good for him. Looks like Hazza is going to be picking up a yak of his own, also going to be starting on that 85 wood treasure behind Prince's base. Sadly, I don't think Prince actually knows about this treasure yet. He went straight to the middle of the map with both of his monks to try and find as many yaks as possible, so it's going to be a nice pickup for Hazza.
Oh, this wood treasure, yeah, that is quite good.
Yeah, it will be quite good for him. I wonder if he'll try to drop another manor. Probably just going to save it until transition, I believe, as the age-up time is pretty important in this matchup. As India tends to go for some heavy, aggressive play with Seaboy and stuff like that, and Brit would like to be up as fast as possible to be able to defend that. But no, as I say that, he is actually dropping down a second manor. I don't know how much he chopped for that, but he may have chopped a little bit.
Okay, so perhaps delaying the age up, but certainly going to get an extra mana here, which is always nice. We'll see how that pans out a bit later on, but the villager, perhaps worthwhile. Up in the top here, Prince of Kabul, 3 yaks nearby. He's keeping them close. I like how both players have been doing that. Basically just hugging the scouts whilst they're treasuring. They want to keep the livestock nearby, not going to lose them at all. Picking himself up 60 food in the top there. The 85 wood treasure still unclaimed. That one in the back. Sorry, 90 wood. So we'll see. That's the funny thing, right? I think treasures behind your base are perhaps ones you come to last because they're in a way the safest.
Yeah, we've seen it more and more lately in like among top players. They tend to ignore everything in their base and just go straight out onto the map, try and contest all the treasures, and yaks and stuff like that as early as possible. And then you return to your side of the map and grab all those safer resources later when maybe your opponent's building trading posts or something like that, or they're also scouting their own half of the map. It didn't really work out maybe so well for Prince this time. He is going to get a lot of additional yaks for it, which is good for him for sure, but he did miss out on the 85 wood. But I guess you could say that's a result of Hazza actually being on the same sort of scouting pattern.
Yeah. Well,
also leaving his base and scouting the other side of the map as early as possible, getting the extra 85 wood for himself. So
nice stuff. Hazza now up to the next stage, Colonial Age in queue. All the villagers switching over to wood here, and up in a good time. It's the delay from that extra villager perhaps not being so impactful after all. This villager coming out now to herd back some of these serau deer, whatever they are, bring them home and get those hunts nearby. He's got a nice hunt behind his base, and this market going up in a fairly line of sighty position. Forward villager from Prince of Kabul here. Looks like that is going to be an aggressive aggro fort. How do you feel about this, though? Prince of Kabul is only just about to pop down the age up with the one villager there, and has a halfway aged.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a late age up. He placed it around like 338 or 339, something like that. Normally you want to place the Wonder as India no later than like 3 minutes, or maybe 3 minutes and 10 seconds, something like that. Maybe earlier if you are really lucky, but it was a gold start, which does hurt India a little bit. He didn't get any wood treasures early on, just a 60 food. And yeah, it's going to hurt his age time a little bit, but hopefully not going to be a super big deal for him.
Look at the number of yaks he's got. I don't feel like it's gonna. Maybe he's not so worried about the super fast age up. That is one hell of a medium late game boost.
Yeah, he might even choose to just forgo any sort of trading posts or anything like that, just because of how many yaks he has, and that by itself could be like almost a 200 wood treasure. So that's pretty good for him. Apparently, you need to move the donation bar. It's stuck on your UI on the bottom or something like that.
Where does it normally go? Like here? I imagine
usually goes up at the top.
Oh, at the top?
Well, like just below the player names, and you move the military and economic stuff off to the side, sort of thing. But if you can find a good spot, if you can find a spot for it, that's
let's
fine.
go in here for now. We'll figure that out later. Sorry, that was a very last minute thing, chucking the donation bar on the screen. I've not done it before. But I have now, looks like Prince of Kabul is going to go and get that trading post. It's now just gone up. After that, there is a 55 coin treasure just above that. The elephant's nearby, which is going to be quite nice. As a result, that 85 wood treasure, he is able to get the trading post quite easily. Consulate going down in the middle of the map then, Mitoe. What do you make of this? Looks like Hazza is going to come and find it, though. That scout keeping a close eye on this placement of this wonder, and anything up going around it sees the consulate there.
Yeah, this is kind of the new way to rush with India, especially if you're aging up late. Not new, I guess it's just more common to see it now on the current patch, because Sepoy are a little bit weaker. So what you want to do is drop the consulate, ally with the British, get the extra 10% HP aura on your Sepoy, so that you can tank sort of those town center shots a little bit more. And this is a build that Prince has always liked to do, and it's still really good despite the nerfs to Sepoy. So I think he's beaten players like H2O in tournaments with this build as well, even.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how Hazard chooses to hold that. He's going for longbow pike, looks like, which isn't all right way to deal with this. But he only has 1 Rax, and he might not have a lot of units here. I think 300 export just came in for Prince, so he'll be using that to ally the British, get a few redcoats out. He'll be shipping 5 Sepoy or 4 Sowars probably, and then he'll be looking to push pretty soon.
Okay, so he's going to be coming in with a reasonably sized, the few the Sepoy that he's created here, and a couple of those shipments from the consulate. That's a lot of longbowmen he's managed to muster all at once. Looks like 2 batches there, plus 6 from a shipment there. He's seen that forward consulate, so he knows roughly what to expect. As one longbowman, is it going to get caught out? Thankfully, elephants don't snare, so should be able to get away. Longbowman getting into position. Something I'd like to point out, though, is that Hazard does have quite a lot of hunt. He's kept a very good job on top of this herding here, and has managed to got quite a lot of hunts in base. So any pressure coming in, I think the British player should be able to last a while. Longbowman does go down here. First engagement. Those Sepoy aren't going to want to stick around, not without any cavalry, which are not on the map just yet. 10 more.
Unfortunately, it looks like Prince's army is all kind of split up. Redcoats were off chasing the British explorer. Meanwhile, he sent the 5 Sepoy shipment. Unfortunately, sent that to his town center, so they had to walk to the middle map. So his rush is actually a little bit delayed here than maybe he would have liked, but hopefully not going to be the end of the world. It does give Hazza a lot of time to get set up. He does have some muskets out to sort of help him deal with those monks. And actually, it looks like Prince is a little bit dissatisfied with his rush time, going to be waiting a little bit, maybe for a 4 Sowar shipment or something like that before he pushes.
Yeah, and the Caravanesi going down as well. Hazza keeping good eye on what's going on here. The Explorer weaving in and out, looking for any updates on what might be there. Hasn't seen any cavalry just yet, but I imagine that's what he's looking for. Also, the size of the army here. Going for the 80 XP treasure, and also extra XP from killing these. No reason not to. Hazza really going to go in there? No.
He definitely thought about it, and he was like, nah, I'll just die.
Yeah, it's a waste of an explorer. Be one hell of a dupe. What a steal if he managed to go and get that. But looks like a couple of Gurkha coming out here, and we see Blue getting into position to go in, which signals perhaps the Sowar from the Caravanesi are almost ready to come out and fight, which will be helpful against these longbowmen here. Outpost in a good position for this. On the front there, can see what's coming. Longbowman moving up, and Blue not ready to engage just yet. I fear the longer this goes on, I mean, we've got some. Blue's done a good job of market upgrades, so he's being diligent. But you're up against the British, right? They have access to the manor houses that add extra villages. The longer this goes, isn't this just going to be a bit of trouble for Prince? He needs to make something happen.
Well, India's pretty strong in H2 as well, and. Oh wait, here comes the push. There's a batch of Sowar popping out from the Caravansari.
Yeah.
Sowar getting onto the longbow is going to be snaring. A few of the muskets dropping. And this is going to be hard for Hazard to deal with. Minutemen coming out, a couple Bells coming out to block as well, maybe soak up a little bit extra damage. But the longbows don't do very well against this army here. If they're forced to fight up close like this, they don't do super.
Hello everyone, this is Interjection from the future. I'm editing this in because my internet dropped during the series, and we lost connection. We lost about 30 seconds of the game, but I've gone to the recorded game and recorded the bit that we lost and put it in the video, so you've got this seamless, awesome experience. Yes, it'll cut back to normal in a moment. Caravanesi, they're Sours. Once these are down, though, the sepoy and the infantry shouldn't be too hard to deal with. The trouble is the longbowmen are bleeding out those low HP infantry, and this is not ideal for the British player. Villagers coming out.
This definitely hurts to hold, and this is part of the problem with this matchup. Is you just don't have a great counter to Sepoy, unfortunately. You can train musketeers, but his Sepoy are just stronger than your musketeers. You can train longbows, but they only have a 1.25 multiplier against Sepoy, so they don't do fantastic damage. And now
not as high as I thought.
It's pretty low if you can't abuse the range. The range is the main advantage, but yeah, sadly, despite all his hurting and everything, it looks like Haza is running out of hunts. He could maybe start working on this hunt, or this hunt over on the side, but he's going to have to think about pushing out of his base pretty soon, which is pretty difficult against India, especially after taking a fight like that. And yeah, he's gonna have to find a way to get resources here somehow. He did just ship 700 food, which is going to buy him a little bit more time on the hunts there. But yeah, you can see he's actually posturing his army too, like he knows he needs to leave his base relatively soon. So.
Couple of villages gonna go down here. 3 villages sort of up on these hunts a bit far away from home. I imagine they were created at this manor. That's not going to do so well for the recalculated economic unit population. That fight we saw in his base, I think, has lost a few units trying to soak on the villagers, and as a result, the India player is now 7 villages up in terms of, and I don't even think that accounts for the trickles. So India doing very, very well here. British coming out, though, going to take on this Caravanesi, take down this stable here. Blue getting into position. Sawars now coming on. Musketeers on the front, going to be dealing with them. Longbowmen in the back there, see if he can bring down these cavalry and then move on to the heavy infantry. Minutemen, Ottoman Minutemen coming out as well. And I think once these cavalry go down, Red is going to want to get out of here. But it's too close now. I don't think he can. Mitoe? Ah, shit, it's me. Oh. That was weird. I'm not sure what that was about. The internet was just upgraded today. As a precaution, I turned this... Oh, let me fix something on the stream.
Alright, well either way that's going to be the game, it looks like, so...
Okay, we didn't lose too much.
Yeah, so I guess Prince actually had a pretty good plan there. I guess what happened was Haza wanted to hold the early aggression, and as a result he committed to that early 6 longbow shipment. And then, Prince, he was a little bit slow on his rush, and he managed to see the longbow mass. They picked off a couple of his sepoys early on. And so he just decided, you know what, I don't really have the mass I need to really punish this right now, so I'm just going to wait. And as a result of that, Haza really committed a lot of resources to defending an early push that never really came. And at the same time, he didn't really have a lot of buildings out front to sort of help shield his longbow and stuff like that, so the army was able to get onto his army pretty easily once he did choose to fight. And yeah, it went pretty well for Prince. And then after that, it was just a matter of a lack of resources, and everything went well for Prince after that.
Well, alright then. At least we didn't miss too much. So yeah, the internet was... this morning I had no internet. I saw some workmen outside filling with this box on the road, which was the internet box. The sacred, divine box that no one must fiddle with except workmen. And yeah, eventually it just went offline and then came back online because I was due to be upgraded from poor internet to really good internet. It is now upgraded, but I had a random flake out there. That was unusual. But yes, thank you for watching that one. Let's go into the next game. Stay tuned. So, the map pool is Manchuria, followed by Tibet. After that, we'll have Grand Chaco, Hudson Bay, and Kamchatka, if we get that far. Haza banned High Plains, and Prince banned Alaska, were the vetoes. So what do you make of that? High Plains being a very high trading post map.
I'm glad that Hazza vetoed that, not Tibet. Tibet is another high trading post map, so we can still see some trading post play. And I feel like a lot of people have been vetoing Tibet, so we haven't seen a whole lot of it just yet. But this should be fun. I like this map. And Prince is going to be picking Iro, looks like. We'll have to see what Hazza chooses to counter with. I'm not really sure what he likes to play into Iro, so he could pick a whole assortment of things. Maybe he'll go for India of his own. That's definitely an option. India's been a pretty strong civilization this tournament so far.
Japan coming out.
Interesting. I've also been seeing a lot more Japan this tournament than we did in previous tournaments, I think.
Yeah, isn't that your domain? Aren't you the Japan man?
I don't know. I played a lot of Japan recently. They don't feel super bad. Not like they used to. People have been starting to sort of change the way they play them a little bit. But yeah, we can talk about that more once we get into the game here. Hazza does have the counter pick, so this is a matchup he's presumably comfortable with, or maybe he just figures that Japan is difficult to play against. I'll quickly check the resources if you want to do intros.
All right then, saving EP recorded game indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 in this best of 5 series, I believe, between PrinceofKabul and Hazza. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we are looking at Hazza. This is the round of 16. The winner of this series will progress through to the semi-finals. Hazza playing Japan here. 3 wood start, 4 food on the floor. Crates, that is. And off straight away. Villagers onto the crates, and these scouts will be heading out straight into these regions of the map where the treasures usually spawn. We all know where these are. Actually, it doesn't appear to be one for the Iroquois side. Just on the 80 food here. Oh, it's over there. I see. Okay, 80 coin there, 80 food here. And it looks like Hazza has sent 1 scout in each direction and has come across, if we put Control Shift F on, I believe. Yes, there it is. The 85 wood treasure. I'm going to quickly scout the top here and see what the other one is before committing to going for any treasure in particular. A little bit of conflict nearby. Hazza pausing the game here. I thought...
might be a little bit of lag, maybe.
I've got silky smooth internet here. 75 down, 18 up, 15 ms ping to whatever server I'm connecting to on speedtest.net.
Are you ready?
Oh, maybe he paused. Maybe he paused because of the yaks converting or something like that. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's interesting. There's one. They get 1 each. I thought he paused just to say "fuck off, lol."
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say this is actually an interesting pick for Prince. I was thinking it was not the greatest decision. Wow, I can't talk. The greatest decision.
Yeah.
And never mind. I'm actually going to eat my words. I was going to say he was going to potentially use that early Travail to drop a farm and start fattening all the yaks on this map and stuff like that. But it looks like he's actually decided to drop a longhouse, and he's actually gathering additional wood for a trading post. So he's going to be dropping an early TP.
Huh. That's it's going to delay his age up, isn't it?
Yeah,
I suppose not, because you don't have to gather for the house, so that's all right.
Yeah, it might slow down his age up a little bit.
Yeah.
On
it's
EP,
certainly not as good as the RE patch, right?
For sure, but on EP, Eero tends to be able to age, like with 14 villagers instead of the standard 15 a lot of the time. And if you chop a lot of wood, you usually can still get in the 15 vill age up, but you won't be getting the super early age up. But it's a trade-off. You get more shipments overall, but slightly slower age up time. It depends a little bit on what your plan is, but oftentimes it can be worth it. And so, meanwhile, while he's building that trading post, Hazza's going to be able to pick up a lot of these treasures. Already picked up 85 food. Going to be finding the other 2 yaks the other side of the map, which is going to be nice for him. And just walking either side with both monks. Probably going to be starting on this 85 wood or this 75 food. Neither of which that Prince knows about just yet. Hasn't scouted this side of the plateau at all.
Looks
so
like
that's going to be nice for him.
Couple of the scouts now coming back this way, so probably got his eyes on that 85 wood prize. Looks like he's going to stun one of those tigers and go in for the kill on the other. So 85 wood definitely on the way. Both players pretty much getting their first shipment simultaneously here. Let's go with Haza. That's interesting. 300 wood. So Japan, often we know that standard style with the Heavenly Kami perhaps falling out of fashion. You've mentioned that Japan is being played a little bit differently nowadays. 300 wood. Traditionally not a great shipment for any civ, but Japan without settlers. How do you feel about this?
I actually like it. As I said before, people have been playing Japan a little bit differently now. They seem a little bit more viable as a result. They don't boom quite as hard, but they survive the early game a lot better.
Yeah.
So what people have been doing a lot more lately is sending cards like 300 wood, 2 villagers, or 3 boats. And it speeds up their age up time a little bit, makes their transition a little bit smoother, but then early colonial, maybe their boom's not as hard. But the 300 wood I like in particular just because it lets you drop a couple of shrines really easily. You get the XP back for that. Looks like he's actually opting to drop a trading post with it as well. Which will maybe help him get out some military shipments early on without sacrificing his build order too much and maybe hold any sort of early pressure or anything like that.
Yeah, looks like he started that way before the shipment came in.
But yeah, I think it's a decent decision, and looks like PrinceofKabul is actually going for a slow age up. I thought he might try to go for a fast age up because he got that early trading post. He would have a shipment available and be able to put on a little bit of early pressure, but nope, going to be using the slow age up. We'll save the fast age up option for a possible fortress age at some point. And yeah, not a whole lot going on here so far. The only thing of note really is that 300 wood from Japan.
Okay. Looks like blue going... we have a bit of a treasure contention, perhaps. 75 food, so it's not a huge amount here. I wonder if Japan wants to be that close to the Iroquois Explorer, though. Definitely, I suppose he can poof away and might be doing that. Yep, here we are. Gonna head home nice and safe.
We'll be magically teleporting back to the other side of the map.
Yeah, what a great mechanic.
Because that's a very historical... it's very historically accurate, yeah. Everyone knows monks in Japan can teleport.
Yeah, of course. I think it's just it's supposed to be the smoke screen, isn't it? Under the cover of darkness, they run through. Yeah. PrinceofKabul, though, up to the next age with I forget her name, the lady that grants you
wise woman.
That's it. Yeah, the Zuta's avatar. Grants you some resource crates. The Travois heading out now into the middle of the map. Looks like we've placed down a war hut just off the centre here at this entrance on Haza's side. A couple of shrines nearby. You might be able to destroy them with the first couple of units that come out. And we see now the animals heading into base. See what Haza is up to. He sees a barracks going down in the back there, and that is the case for him.
Yeah, it looks like Haza will be dropping down to barracks. Doesn't actually know about this war hut just yet. It looks like it's just out of line of sight of one of those shrines.
Yeah, just.
So it's pretty much as close as it could possibly be without being spotted. Does he have units in queue? Looks like he has one Yumi in queue at the moment. So
there's 5 tomahawks.
Some Yumi, but yeah, the big button and the 4 Kanya coming out here going to be applying some pressure. There's no resources for Minutemen yet, so he's going to be forced to garrison. He might be. Oh, he's training clubs actually for anti-cav, but they're not going to be popping out on the same side of his Yumi. So his Yumi's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Those villagers on the left side might be in trouble too if those Kanya choose to chase. But no,
that's brutal.
Yumi coming out, going to get caught. Club's not quite out yet. Also, not going to be anywhere near those Yumi when they do pop out. So
absolutely
nice pickup for Prince.
Executed. That is awful. Haza not going to be pleased there. Yeah, he definitely needed some anti-cav. Three clubs could have made a little bit of difference there with the town centre fire and the Yumi on the tomahawks, but now thoroughly overwhelmed, and villagers definitely being kept inside. That wood shipment on the floor, unable to be collected. Minutemen coming out, got a couple of irregulars here, going to do some damage, but they're not going to last long. Villagers are going to be unable to get back to work just yet. Those clubs, they're doing a good job of distracting the tomahawks, keeping them in range, perhaps, of the town centre, and luring them away, actually, so that just buying time by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like Haza was forced to sell some resources for that Minutemen pop. He does have one more Minutemen pop available to him, but no gold for that, sadly. And it looks like Prince is going to be repelled for the moment. It was a little bit of a painful trade for Haza, but he does have that early trading post and all these shrines working for him, so he should be all right, maybe. 5 Ashy shipment coming out. So far he's shipped 600 wood twice and 5 Ashy. Again, like, it's pretty common to see Japan skip some of these economic shipments early in the game, especially nowadays.
There we go. Can he get some pickups here whilst he's sieging? Yeah, one goes down. Can he get another? No, Prince of Kabul going to be on top of that, but does manage to half HP a Tomahawk and save the shrine in the doing so there. 3 more Kanya have arrived, so it looks like a corral has gone up somewhere. Where is it? I don't know. Was it a shipment? Is there such thing as a 3 Kanya shipment? Anyway, not...
No. That's
oh, it's the remainder, yeah.
Over. That's just what's left over from the 4 Kanya shipment. But actually, it looks like Prince is actually going to be aging to Fortress right now. And I wonder if Haza actually knows about this. If you look at his base, you can see his monk is actually dead on top of that gold mine, so he does know that there's quite a few villagers on that mine if he's paying attention. Going to be maybe anticipating the age up. And we'll have to see if he chooses to push or anything. He also knows that Prince is not training a lot of units. Of course, there's only this small number of units sieging his shrine. So it looks like he is aware of this, and he is going to be pushing the war hut and probably killing it.
Yep, he's aware of the age up there. And just because he's been seeing what his opponent's doing when he's sieging the shrine. So they're going to come out, punish the fact that he's aging up here, and take out a war hut, which should be quite nice for him, since Prince only just going to be getting up now. He's going up with the age up fast option by the... No, yes, by the looks of it. Just the 1 Travois coming out. Couple of Kanyas coming around the back. And they're possibly scouted by the shrine there. Only 3. Looks like a worse scene, but they're going to get out of there, villagers. Anyway, looks like war hut's gone down. And Red Army going to advance, make the most of this. There's a second war hut going up nearby with this Travois.
Yeah, and it's going up to defend this hunt, but it might be in a bit of trouble here if Hazo manages to spot it. He is pushing now. He is going to spot the war hut, and there's no units here to really defend that. That might be going down pretty quickly here.
Yeah. Was it worth losing a Tomahawk there? If he could get it up, perhaps, maybe then...
Maybe if he could get it up, and if he was going to pop units immediately. He did call the second big button for the Tomahawks, so he would have had units out maybe to try and hold that. But no, unfortunately, just going to be losing, I think, 2 Tomahawks for free there. Losing the war hut. Going to be losing a longhouse as well on top of this, looks like. And there's a few Naginata in the back. It looks like Haz is keeping them hidden for now. He's got another one in queue. Going to be saving those until he really needs them. So that's a
smart move there.
Good for him.
Yeah, keeping his composition hidden. I wonder how different this could be if Prince hadn't shown his army by sieging those shrines. I mean, it's tempting always to get ahead and kill the Japanese shrines if you can, but perhaps he could have hidden his age up, because all he needed really was, an extra 45 seconds, a minute perhaps, then he'd have his next shipment out and possibly that original war hut still as well, and it would be in a better position. 8 Forest Prowlers are out now though, and that looks like they're going to scare off the Red Army for the time being. He's not got anything with enough range to really deal with that. But did manage to pick up 2 war huts and a longhouse as well. So Haza adequately punishing that age up from the blue player.
Mm-hmm. Sieging the shrines was kind of a giveaway, but there was a second giveaway too. I'm not sure if Hazo was paying attention to it, but actually before that, it looks like Nagi are going to be getting onto the Forest Prowlers, doing a little bit of damage. Not a whole lot here, but there is actually a raid going on in the back while this fight's going on. So even if this fight doesn't go super well for Haza, he could potentially get some economic damage done.
Yeah, that is if he remembers to task them to villagers or something. Anyway, back to the fight. Those Cavs still looking to get him to position. Looks like Red, though, has come out firmly on top of this fight.
Yeah, gonna be a good fight for Haza, looks like. Nushal Slayer gonna be falling down.
Is that his name? Nushal Slayer. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Those Naggies
talking about Nushal Bar.
Yeah, the Naggies managed to pick up a villager
his name,
and forced a bunch into the town centre as well. 6 Kanye West horsemen coming out. Or perhaps it's just Yay horsemen now.
Going to be using those Kanya to repel those Nagi. So what I was saying before is, sieging the shrines was a giveaway, but maybe Hazo was paying attention to something else. Mr. Dead Bonang here in the base was actually dead. Was actually dead on top of the gold mine originally. And there was a lot of vills in the gold mine, so it's possible he saw both the sieging army and the number of vills on the gold mine, and used that information to deduce that there was an age-up coming in. And unfortunately for Prince, he lost 2 war huts, a couple vills, some tomahawks, and, half his army for that. So that hurts. Unfortunately for Hazza, he does have to ship orchards now, so he's not out of the woods just yet, and he is still stuck in the colonial age. So even though, it was a pretty bad trade for Prince, and yes, a couple of vills going down, he still does have the tech advantage, and he's not... Okay, I was going to say he's not super far behind the Nakamekun population, but he is actually behind by quite a bit.
Jeez.
So never mind.
Snap, that's quite a lot, yeah. I was gonna say something along the lines of, the scores are pretty similar, everything's fine for him. Yeah, he's down in age, but remember, Japan is sorry, he's up in age, but Japan hasn't got those super powerful shrines. They're not stacked up with the heavenly kami and all of these things. But actually, yeah, that's quite a substantial number of villages. Did manage to kill a few just there, but he's going to have to do a bit more damage. Trading post going down as well here. Looks like blue units, forest prowlers coming in to do a bit of damage there. Is that Wise getting so close with just them on? Is there anything nearby? Yes, okay, there's the army behind him. A few musket riders there, and a few more forest prowlers as well. Chilling out by this shrine. Red's going to see that, though. Is this time now to... Do you think he's going to be tempted to go in? Doesn't look like it.
Looks like Prince might be tempted to go in, actually. 6 Kanya joining the army, and he's going to get spotted out by the shrine on the cliff, I think, but and also now he's in vision of all the other buildings. But there's not a lot of anti-cav here.
Yeah, the Kanye not able to get onto the archers there. They're going to have to, those Nagis stopping them, this market sort of in the way. The Yumi archers, it looks like a couple of sentries going to chase these cav away. And the Yumi's able to get a few pot shots off. Kanye now coming into position. They want to attack move on top of the Yumi there. Do get a couple of hits in before getting back. A little bit of a skirmish. No one wanting to fully commit here.
Yeah, gonna be a good trade for Prince. I don't think he's even lost a single unit yet in this engagement. He's just picked off a villager and maybe 7 or 8 military units, so that's definitely a good pickup for him. Forest Prowlers are really strong here. Gonna be maybe forcing these villagers off of this cherry orchard. Yeah. No, and a second batch of Nagi coming in, actually. There's almost 15 Nagi now. This could actually be go time for him. There's not a lot of Anacav for Prince, just one batch of musket riders. And Forest Prowlers, while they're very strong, they are pretty slow, so...
Yeah,
looks like he will be getting onto that army.
Yeah, these musket riders he's trying to get the forest prowlers to safety here. Musket riders are blocking, but that's not their ideal use. They're certainly good against cavalry, but not in a sense like that. All going down here, and the trouble is there's not going to be very many reinforcing units. PrinceofKabul was popcapped. That random house that was built from the Travar in the early game was destroyed just now, so has only just been able to resume unit production. So no reinforcements on the way unless their shipment, and all these forest prowlers going to get absolutely exterminated by the Naginata riders here. PrinceofKabul resigns. The score is now 1-1. I can update that. Holy, we have all this technology nowadays. GG indeed. I think.
Yeah, and that's not the way I expected the game to go after that initial pressure and the damage he got down.
Yeah, that was quite a lot. He comes in, he kills off all those Yumi archers, right? And it just felt like Hazza was so far behind. I think though PrinceofKabul thinks, oh, I'm gonna age up in the back of this. It's gonna be nice and safe. We'll get to the fortress age and we'll just play it out the super safe way. But Hazza able to punish that and takes down 2 war huts and a longhouse. And PrinceofKabul never gets back off the back foot.
Yeah, might have been overestimating how much damage he did and how much freedom he really had to go for that age up. And this is kind of a result of that build that Hazza went for as well. He dropped that early trading post, didn't really invest in his economy a whole lot. Sent a lot of shipments early on to sort of sort of increase his military production. He got double 600 wood for a lot of Yumi on top of sending 5 Ashi afterwards. And I think if he'd gone for any other build, if he'd even shipped 4 vills instead of any of those 3 shipments, which is kind of the old standard way to play Japan, you kind of ship 4 vills no matter what you're getting faced with, you wouldn't really have had anything to punish that army. So definitely good adaptations from Hazza. And yeah, the score is now 1-1. I believe the next map is Grand Chaco, and Hazza's got the first pick this time, and we'll have to see what they choose to pick on this non-TP map.
Alright, all the players are in. Looks like it will be PrinceofKabul's will be picking... No, Hazza will be picking his civilization first. Currently still on Japan from the previous game. India going down. Let's see if he locks it.
Yeah, I think he will probably lock it. India's, of course, very strong on this patch and on non-trading post maps, especially since this map does also have llamas. Going to be good for them as well. What can Prince really counter with?
Prince is fairly reasonable with most civs, so he should have a good time finding a matchup he's comfortable here.
But at the same time, I think kind of his go-to civ on a non-TP map would be India as well, and India is no longer available to him.
Oh, he played it in the first game, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what he chooses to go for on this non-TP map. He could go for British, but as we saw in the first game, British didn't work out for Hazza so well in this matchup.
Yeah, but there was a lot of livestock on that map. I suppose there's livestock on this map as well. Appears to be less of it. I wonder if that had much bearing for India previously. Certainly a lot of XP.
Yeah, he did get a lot of yaks before. Definitely not as many llamas on this map. I believe there's only 8 llamas on this map.
Okay,
and making lots of noise.
You're throwing everything around. Looks like the world is falling apart, wherever Mitoe is. Looks like Dutch is coming out, though, so and greening in with it, so it appears to be the civ of choice. A reasonable non-TP map. Non-TP civ, obviously Banks. A pretty good unit, I suppose. Be interested to see how this goes down. The Dutch of the West and the Dutch of the East, in the sense that their villages both cost not food. That's the only similarities, I suppose.
And they do have pretty similar playstyles most of the time. India does have that aggressive option available to them, whereas Dutch does not. But yeah, this makes sense, I guess. This matchup is pretty good for Dutch if you can survive the early game. The only real trouble Dutch really has in this matchup is defending against that early Sepoy pressure, and or maybe to some sort of timing while they're aging. So we'll have to see what Hazza chooses to go for.
We'll see what he goes for. Here he is in the north of the map in the color red. India. Lots of deer very nearby. That's one feature of this map. Huge. Okay. Let's see what's nearby. Treasures. 110 food. He'll be pleased with that. 40 food as well, guided by a Blogan man. And here's Blue, Dutch, in the south of the map, going straight for that 40 coin treasure. Looks like he's crack shot the Guardian immediately. Get that recharging. And obviously coin is quite a valuable resource for Dutch. It might as well be food. This is going to get him up to the next stage. A nice treasure to find. And he's heading off. There's a 60 food treasure in his general direction.
We might need to ask for a rehost in this map, I think. It looks like Hunts and Mines are both heavily in favor of Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's got one extra hunt, and all of his gold mines are a lot closer to his base than they are to Hazza's, so I think we should probably offer that rehost to him if he wants it.
Yeah, go on. I know he'll take it, so I'll just stop.
Huh. Alright, he doesn't care. So we will be continuing with the game anyway.
Alright then. What do you think that is? What is he so confident about? Is it a good start?
Well, he did pick up 6 llamas, which will be nice for him. And I don't think he got... You've seen the civ I'm playing. Also playing a pretty strong civ, so... yeah, I think he found a lot of solid treasures. He got a lot of llamas, and you know, I guess he doesn't really want to give up on that early advantage that he's already got. Like, if we do a restart, he could potentially get a worse start. And it was a wood start this time, or was it a food start? I don't remember. Either way, it wasn't a gold start, which it could be if we restarted. And a gold start would definitely be heavily in favor of Dutch over India, as they can actually use that coin crate. Or no, it was a gold start. Wait, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That's the 105 coin you just picked up. Okay, so...
Oh shit, it's a gold start now, all of a sudden.
So yeah, I guess he'll be content with those early advantages as opposed to the long-term resource advantage Prince will have. And no forward villagers coming out just yet. He hasn't actually gathered a lot of food yet, so it looks like he might be having sort of a late age up, pretty similar to Prince in the first game. Like I said, normally India would like to drop that wonder around 3 minutes, but he's not even halfway to the 800 food he needs to drop that around, and it's he's got like 30 seconds until he needs to drop that, so I wonder if he'll still choose to go for a forward aggro or anything like that. I know that Haza's not limited to one style of play, so we could potentially see a Carnimata coming out.
Carnimati, as it would say.
Carnimati.
The Carnimati. Here we have an adorable Kinkayao. Worth 100 XP. Wonderful. Chasing off the elephants there, and can go back for that if he wants to get that crack shot ready. India heading back to his base here, going to go straight past the 40 food. Let's click on the recalculated military okay, not that it means anything right now. So you think it's because he's only just gotten the food for the age up here. It doesn't appear to be a forward village or anything like that. Prince of Kabul's envoy now coming in, the reconnaissance unit here, see if he can find. Okay, yeah, Carnimata gonna go down there. He's not going to be going for the forward aggro or anything like that. This is going to be a economic in base style for now. On the other hand, Dutch has nearly aged up in true Dutch fashion, super fast. Almost got all the wood he needs for that bank. Do they cost 350? Oh no, what do they cost now? 350 wood.
It costs the original amount now to construct the bank. So 350 food, 350 wood.
Oh.
Right. Prince did manage to spot that wonder with his envoy as soon as it went down as well. So he knows that he has lots of time to get these banks up nice and safe. And that's going to be good for him. I'll have to see if he chooses to train any Hussar for raiding or anything like that, or if he just chooses to go straight for the age up. Meanwhile, for Haza, looks like we don't have a market or console or anything like that just yet, but I would anticipate he will drop something like that in transition here. Almost up as well. It looks like Prince wasn't aware that the price was the price for banks was returned to normal. He has been a little bit inactive recently, but
whoopsie. What were they before? 350 wood, 300 food.
I think it was 300 food, 350 wood.
Yeah, that
was the previous patch, and then the patch before that it was 350 food, 300 wood. So it's been changing each patch.
So we've landed. What's the reasons for this then?
I think people wanted Dutch to have a little bit more flexibility in the early game because they've always been a pretty weak civ in the early game. But
well, that doesn't make sense if we put them back to the original.
Yeah, well, it looks like now that people have been playing them a lot more, it turns out Dutch was not as bad as people thought in the first place. So, yeah, now that people actually know how to play them, I guess, we've reverted a lot of the changes. They still get full XP from the banks instead of the reduced XP, which does help their builds a little bit.
Can they still make 5 banks, or has it gone back to the original 4?
They can still make 5 banks,
okay.
So they do still have the option to boom a little bit harder than they do on the official patch. But other than the XP and the bank limit, there's not a whole lot that's really changed. So,
okay, that's interesting. A bunch of tech upgrades coming in. Now getting blanket filters. He's already gotten foreign logging. Barracks up in the back for Haza, and we now see that consulate you're talking about coming down. Reasonable out of llamas creating decent XP, so I think Haza going to be pretty pleased with this position. Let's take a look at what the Dutch player is up to. 700 wood has hit the board. Yes, and 600 as well, so lots of banks coming out of this. 2 elephants nearby, scouting out what's going on, and no military from Prince of Kabul just yet. We don't see any barracks going down or anything like that. He knows his opponent is booming away at home with the Carnimata and hasn't been, doesn't have any military production, at least from the aggro fort that would normally immediately give them. So we see 5 sepoys just hitting the board now, so and just in time, a stable coming down from Prince here. Not a barracks.
Yeah, so it looks like he might choose to go for a little bit of that early Hussar pressure. He did actually go for a slightly different build than we normally see from a lot of Dutch players. He went for 700 wood and 600 wood instead of the Bankwaken second that we usually get. So I guess what that will allow him to do is it will allow him to get some market upgrades a little bit more easily. He has steel traps already. He does have a stable up and all the housing he's going to need for that. Bankwagon's coming out now, so he's sitting on the 5 banks. Does he have Hussar in queue? He actually does not have any Hussars in queue. So he might actually just choose to to age off of this without actually trading any units from that stable.
Yeah, do you think he can get away with that? I mean, we see there's 5 sepoy coming in here. The elephants are scouted out where to go. It looks like he sees that with the bank and the town centre line of sight. The sepoy not going to be able to get any shots here. The enemy started firing at exactly 10 villagers in that town centre. The explorer snared the elephants here. Is he going to try and kill the explorer and then get the elephants out of there? Is that the plan? Stomp goes down. Or is he just going to hang around in the base doing as much damage to the villagers as he can? Hasn't managed to kill any yet. Dwindling down to 2.5 sepoy there. 2 sepoy.
Yeah, getting a little bit of idle time there, also getting a little bit of information. But ultimately, Prince will be aging up relatively safely. Egypt has gone down now. Envoy still sitting in Hazza's base. You know, maybe trying to negotiate some terms for maybe some kind of peace treaty or something after that little raid. But no, it looks like the Indians are going to angrily chase out that that envoy.
He's like, shit, let's get out of here. Kevin's running.
Negotiations have failed. But
yeah. I like the split up of the sepoy here, trying to find that wherever he's going. It doesn't look like he can find him. The scouting units there, the elephants have, is zooming in. They don't snare though, so maybe the envoy can get out alive here. This is a new scenario I'm working on. It's called Get the Envoy Out Alive. You have to run away from the angry Indians.
He stopped running. All right, no, he is. It looks like he is probably going to be safe for the most part.
All right, Prince up now to the fortress age here. Has managed to get up there safely. Got his racks down as well. Let's take a look at the units in queue. Skirmishers, 5 in queue there. Hasn't managed to queue any. Oh god, Reuters, that's what they're called. Doesn't need any, I suppose. There aren't any cavalry out on for his opponent just yet.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Hazza's going to be following him into the fortress age, looks like. Does have Gurkha in queue of his own to sort of counteract those skirmishers. Yeah, so this is going to be a tough one for Hazza. As we did say at the beginning of the game, he is at a slight disadvantage in terms of resources as well. India doesn't really need a whole lot of resources compared to other civs, so they're still going to be all right for the time being, but the longer this game goes, it might become more of a problem. Prince actually shipping 9 Reuters first instead of 1,000 wood, which is sort of the norm that we see out of Dutch when they get up safely like this. And looks like he's going to be looking to apply some early pressure. I don't know how successful that's going to be with the Gurkha popping out here.
Yeah, well, the scout's going in first. See what you can see there. A couple of villagers. Going to go for the ones closer to the town centre, which is nice. Maybe we can get both of these. Gurkha are available, though. They're going to start shooting, but I think he's committed now to getting that villager. Does get one of them. Can he get a second? No, going to chase down these Gurkha. Perhaps he doesn't realise that there's reinforcements behind that. 1 Mahout and a few of the Zamburiks as well. He's going to get out of here. Trying to focus that Mahout. Damn, that's a lot of damage. The Mahout, quite an expensive unit. Is he going to be able to take down all the skirms? It does go down, and he's trying to get out of here. A few more reinforcing skirms, and that should push away the Zamburiks and end this conflict here in the map. I think PrinceofKabul comes out on top here, and going to go in a bit further. Cheeky pot shot, takes down 1 Zamburek, gets another. What a pro!
Yeah, but meanwhile in the back in Prince's base, we've got a sepoy raid going down. I didn't see how many vills he got, unfortunately. Let me look real quick. Looks like he got 3 villagers with that sepoy raid, and a bunch of idle time, and going to be forcing the military units to return to the base here to defend that raid. So that's definitely a nice pickup for Hazza. And
what do you think of this, though? Oh, they're going into hand combat. That would have been nice. I'm going to have to switch back now. Sepoy, actually quite okay with the skirmishers reinforcing that. I see what he's trying to keep him here, keep him interested, and the skirms can help kill off this raid. This is not good for Hazza.
Yeah, but at the same time, those sepoys have kind of outlived their usefulness anyway, right?
That's
they
fair.
Do trade themselves off for 2 Reuters there. They did pick up 3 villagers in the base and give some idle time. So, and also buy Hazza some time to get his army set up. They did force those units to return home. So, you know, like sepoy are not going to be super useful in the skirm on skirm warfare anyway. So that's pretty much maybe the best value he could have hoped to get out of them.
Yeah. So, okay. So actually, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. But meanwhile, it looks like Hazza is slightly ahead in economy by a whole 1 villager. Going to be insane.
Fairly even game here.
Mansabdar Gurkha coming out as well, so his Gurkha are sitting pretty strong.
Yeah.
And 1,000 wood coming out for Prince, so he is gonna be going for sort of that standard Dutch play, just a little bit slower than maybe we would normally see. That might
Holy shit! 6 petards coming out, Mitoe. Where are they going?
I didn't even see that.
Looks like he's managed to get... Is that the Dutch consulate? Which consulate? It's the British consulate.
That's the British consulate.
Looks like they're going around the side here. We'll catch up with them later. In the meantime, we do have out on the map a bit of conflict. Kevin does go down. Rest in peace. And that's a big mass of Gurkha, especially with the Mansabar unit in there. A couple more, some reinforcing blue, but this native village is a bit awkwardly placed. The Reuter coming out on the front, which isn't ideal. That's a batch of 10 Hussar.
That is a big batch of 10 Hussar. 4 Hussar shipment coming in too, but there's a lot of Zambraks here.
Yeah.
It is a good switch for him right now, but doesn't look like he's going to get onto the Gurkha. I don't know if he has the positioning to really make the best use of these Hussars. Some of them are dropping. A lot of them are low HP. Skirmishers are trying to get onto those Zambraks now, but looks like they're not going to be able to clean it up quite as easily as they would like. He does manage to trade those Hussar off for some Gurkha, but it looks like the Gurkha mass is still in favor of Hazza.
Petards have arrived in base now. They're going to attack the villagers. It's a petard raid. I see. Very... That's not the best use of the petards. What do you think he's going to explode? The banks, the houses, the military buildings? Okay, they're heading towards the racks here. I think you need exactly 2 on each. Shoot.
Oh no.
Did he just explode them all? What the
Yeah.
No! Oh, he's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit too distracted by the big Hussar switch in the middle of the map, trying to kite
that's
those.
fair.
But this is gonna limit Prince's capabilities to sort of diversify his unit composition a little bit here. So Hazza is gonna have the skirm advantage for quite a while here. It looks like, as Prince is not able to train 10 at a time, but he does actually have 2 stables up. He has been training 10 Hussar at a time. 1,000 food coming in now. Does he have units in queue? Yes, he has Reuters in queue. So he's going to be going for primarily Reuter Hussar right now. I wonder if he'll replace that Rax at some point soon.
We'll see. I'll have to find the wood for it. Perhaps he can just buy some wood for that. It might be the solution. But looks like the blue is now converging. We see those 10 Reuters you mentioning coming up onto the battlefield now. They're fast moving up here. Cavalry, the other cavalry that was already up there, getting into position. Skirmishers nearby. Whoa, it looks like the Reuters have been seen, though. Taking some pot shots, 2 go down, plus a half HP one. Where is he heading off to? These villagers is perhaps where he was going, but now he's going to have to respond to the army there. Some villagers on the gold, so just the presence of the red units on the map, keeping these vills safe. Does manage to execute one, not before the house goes up though, so going to be pleased about that. But still, fairly even economic unit population here. This game, anyone's for anyone at the moment. However, I just saw Yorumi come in, so this could be a big swing unit. We'll see if they can get into a good position and do some damage here. Looks like red has the skirmisher advantage, going to be pushing blue off, and whilst blue was getting ready to do some nice villager killing on the mine and on the food, has been pushed all the way back here, and I think, yes, red has the stronger army. Blue is going to have to keep pushing back, but still, eco's fairly even. Oh, just bleeding out. These skirms being shot at. Just can't seem to get the distance. Okay, pull tricking away. This should stop the bleeding now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting away, and this is the advantage of killing that Rax. Is Hazza's always gonna have the skirm advantage from now on probably, and he has forced Prince to sort of pick this this Reuter Husk composition, which is pretty easily countered by Zambraks, especially if he ever chooses to send any Zambrak upgrades. But the one advantage he does have with this heavy cavalry army is this mobility, and with all of Hazza's villagers being sort of in all parts of the map, a lot of them potentially exposed. Ooh, actually, Vill's going to go down for Prince. But this does actually mean that Prince could potentially just keep running India in circles if he chooses to keep going for the Vills. There is a town center on the right side to defend them now.
Oh, I didn't see that go up. Looks like Red's coming in, and this is a bit awkward. We see Red going off to defend his villages. You see if he can get there in time to save some of their lives. In the meantime, though, Red getting into position to perhaps kill some more villagers on these hunts down here. Red nearby, keeping just a lot of pressure on Blue, just being in all the right areas at the right time. Looks like 2 villagers do go down up in the top there, and we do manage to save... I don't know if we managed to save, but Red losing the raiding party, the Reuters dispatching that nicely. Hussar's trying to get out of here now. A
smart decision for Hazza to push there, looks like. He knew that Prince was probably going to head to the right side, try and defend those villagers from those raiding Soars and Zambrax, and as a result, he could get some pressure down on some other villagers on another part of the map with the rest of his army.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like he's seen that Prince doesn't really have any intention of continuing to try and fight the Skirm War. So it looks like he might. He is like sort of prioritizing his Zambrak production now. He has 4 Zambraks in queue, but maybe you won't get any more Zambraks out before the big fight.
Big stomp. This
Soars
could be...
and Mansubdar, or sorry, and Mahout Lancers getting into tank. Zams in the back, and this is actually going to go really well for Haza. It looks like almost half the Hussars dropping.
Yeah, and now there's Yarumi not in position on top of the skirms here. The Hussars trying to clean them up. Those skirmishers trying to take up the Zambaraks, but bleeding out quite quickly.
Yeah, but
big
another
batch
big
of 10
batch of 10
Hussars.
Hussar. And you got cavalry combat in just before this fight as well. So this is going to be... He has to win this fight or else he's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's behind on Vils by about 10, and his opponent has a second TC up. So this has to go really well for him. I wonder if he can snipe the Mansabar. Where is it? It's hard to see. Perhaps they should make it more visible.
It is in the front there. It is close to going down. It did just drop. More Zambraks coming in from the back. It looks like Prince is going to be able to clean up this army, though.
Yeah.
All the Hussars are still up. Reuters are sort of getting up front to sort of block the Zambraks from easily shooting those.
Oh, the Hussars. Yeah.
The Hussars, yeah. So, Haza has to micro a little bit more than he maybe would like.
The Hussars gone now.
Once the smoke has cleared, Haza comes away with a little bit of a higher military unit population. There's not a lot of units on the map left for Prince. He is going to head straight towards the villagers by that town center on the right side. So it was actually a relatively even trade for both players, maybe. Again,
he dealt with Yarumi, and there was quite I'd say the red military unit population was much higher than the Dutch, so Dutch came out quite well there. Looks like Reds bounced back quite quickly though, 70 units to 30. Especially just cleaning up these Hussars. Though we do see this is some harmonious gathering. Everyone's going to be hunky-dory. I think that's where the players are going to head next, that mine, to not only defend their villages, but kill the opposing ones. Mahout's coming in, nice and strong. See if we can use the Reuters to take them down there. They're closing in on the skirms. They have a ton of area damage. This is quite a scary push.
Yeah,
lots of red units.
Mahout going down. Second Mahout is not going to be going down quite as easily as the first. Zambrak's just picking off the Reuters, and this is going to be a big problem for Prince here. Once this army goes down, he doesn't really have anything to defend his villagers. 7 skirmishers popping out might be enough to hold.
And a couple of Reuters as well.
With the additional Reuters, yeah. But once this army goes down, there's not going to be anything to defend his villagers out on the map.
Yeah.
He does force away the army for the moment, but he's still at a big disadvantage militarily, and of course we do know that there are some spies reporting on the location of these villagers.
Oh dear, here comes some irregulars. They do half damage to village, we should bear in mind, but they're still going to cause some problems here. Reuters, they're the faster moving units, trying to get over here and trying to defend his villages. The red ones, they're being scared off, going to be sent away here. This outpost nearly up, that's what he wants to be able to garrison in though. Let's take a look at this musketeer raid. Looks like the consulate musks have come down, taking out villagers, and this is really not what the blue player wants at all. Prince of Kabul has considerably fewer villagers now, even if the military units are evening out, and he's been able to hang on this time. But 3 town centers is definitely a problem. So I think Prince of Kabul on his last legs here. Looks like Haza might now be setting up to come in for the kill. Looks like we have all the Sepoy coming in. On their own, they're not going to be great, but look at all those Sawars in the back there. 10 Hussars joining the fray. Actually, this isn't so bad. Blue is actually, I think, in the stronger position currently with the units here, but that might not stay that way with the villagers. However, having said that,
the problem is... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, look, the hunts are harder and harder to get to, and if Blue can maintain if Blue can come out on top in this fight, let's see what happens. Those musketeers in hand combat being basically they're running around. They were trying to get onto the cavalry there, but they're going to go down. Okay, Blue is dwindling on units.
Yeah, it's going to go well for Hazza. This is again a result of Hazza forcing the Cav heavily composition. Wow, that was a mouthful. I couldn't say apparently. The Cav heavy composition earlier by killing that Rax. He's actually sort of forced Prince into the situation where he doesn't have a lot of upgrades on those skirmishers. He's just got the base veteran upgrade, and that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, Hazza himself, he's got the Mansubdar still. He just sent the British East India Company card, which gives him another 10% HP and attack on top of those Gurkha. So it's making those trades a little bit easier for him. On the other side, like Prince has just sent infantry combat, where I think normally we'd see Dutch send infantry combat a lot earlier. So now that we've sort of transitioned into this later stage of the game where resources are more important, and Prince maybe doesn't want to be dumping all those resources into like food-heavy units like Hussars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's sort of forced to return to the skirmisher warfare, but his skirmishers are a lot weaker than they would be normally. So it's a good play from Hazza overall. That one decision early on is really paying dividends for him all throughout this game. There was a little raid in the middle of the map. Going to get cleaned up by the Vills pretty easily.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of Vills there. But Hazza secured his position now. He's got 2 town centres down, considerably more economic units. The villagers really doing nicely there, and he's cleaned up most of the villagers on the map. He's taken that sort of eastern side off of Prince. He doesn't have access to that anymore where the units are. However, he's still managing to gather on this last hunt there. And he's now going up to the industrial age as well. In the middle of the map, we have some conflict here. So, maybe Prince can take this. It's given that he's just dumped all those resources into aging up, perhaps Dutch is able to force these villagers off the middle of the map. And this is where all the food is as well. This could end up being quite a costly decision to go up to the industrial age. We'll see how this fight goes, though. Those cavalry trying to get onto the skirmishers here, but lots of Zambraks in the back, the trees really messing around. I wonder if Hazza should just chuck those villagers into the fight there, just to make sure he can hold this position. Looks like, though, all of the Hussars now dead, and Blue somehow back on top with the skirmisher war here. He's got more of those, and this is, I think he's actually taken the middle of the map here. This is a really nice spot for Blue. Is there more reinforcing red units? I see he's got a higher military population. Where are they? Oh, they're in the back here. These musketeers now approaching these villages here, going to be doing some damage. But I think all gold income has been halted for the red player. Look, this mine down the bottom here, no longer being gathered. The one in the middle just been forced off. And Blue taking this town centre. GG coming out, though, even though being able to... Okay, maybe not then. I was getting excited about Blue making some sort of comeback there, but not the case.
I think it was pretty much the best fight he could have hoped for. He did manage to win the fight, but at the end of the day, Hazza's almost maxed out on eco. He is now in the industrial age. Prince, he's still losing villagers to redcoats. He doesn't really have any hunts or anything.
Yeah, okay. It's 93 villagers to 50.
Yeah, even the berries in his base are dwindling, and he knows that he's never going to be really up to industrial himself. He knows that there's 3 town centers up. And yeah, Hazza's forced off of gold, but who needs gold when you can just send Urumi, right? So. Oh
yeah, that's fair. Go to industrial, send some Urumi. Keep sending the Urumi.
That was a nicely played game from Hazza too.
I was getting excited there. I wanted to see.
I really liked the petards. It would have been nice if they could have killed the other Rax too, but they served the same function, killing the one Rax by forcing Prince into that cavalry heavy composition and then denying those infantry upgrades later and forcing a lot of those fights where the Zambraks and all the tanky units like Urumi and Maus and everything really shine. So yeah, well played from Hazza overall.
Yep, I enjoyed it. I was getting excited there, but looks like Hazza wins overall. Look at that villager lead. It's just, let's go take a look at the village graph just before we hop out of here. I don't think it will. Obviously, blue will look considerably lower. That's all resources gathered because of the banks, but they're not obviously accounted for on the graph. But yeah, red steaming ahead, especially once he gets those town centres up. An interesting game, making the score 2-1 to Hazza, 5-4-3-2-1, who I should be rooting for, really, because he's my British buddy, right? All right, then. Let's head on out into the next game. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to the ESOC Autumn Championships. My name is Interjection, casting alongside Mitoe. All donations do go towards funding future tournaments, so if you're enjoying yourself and are looking forward to more of this in the spring, if I'm going to sell out, all contributions are appreciatively received. although it is obviously entirely optional. We will keep doing this regardless.
Yeah, definitely appreciate any donations you are willing to make. All of the tournaments we've hosted in the last 3 years, or almost 4 years now, have all been a result of your donations. So we really appreciate it, guys. And if you want to keep seeing more tournaments and content, then as long as we are able, we will continue to make that. So it looks like the map is going to be Hudson Bay. PrinceofKabul does have to pick his civilization first. All civs are on the table once again. Civs do reset after the third game in the best of 5. So he does have civs like India available to him again. He can play Dutch again if he so chooses. France being locked in for Prince here. Decent civ on this map. We'll have to see what Hazard responds with. Ooh, the Sioux.
Ooh, this is always a fun matchup. France versus Sioux. I do like this matchup. It's always that. I just have memories of Yumiyu just walking around the map in a giant ball with CDBs, and it was absolutely
the good
wonderful.
old Musk CDB timing.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see something like that today, but we'll see. Prince of Kabul playing France versus his opponent Hazard 5-4-3-2-1, who will be playing the Sioux. This is Hudson Bay, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into game number 4. The score is currently 2-1 in favour of Hazard 5-4-3-2-1. Saving EP recorded game. The map is Hudson Bay Winter Wonderland. I think that should be its official name, honestly.
It's pretty icy.
It is pretty icy. You could say it's quite cool. Ha!
Ha 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 ha. All right. Let's see. Resources look pretty good for both players, I think. All right. Yeah, they look fine.
All right.
Maybe very slight hunt advantage for Hazza, but nothing serious. Gold mines look good as well.
Yeah.
All right, and so
Prince of Kabul straight off onto the 30 coin treasure there. He wants to get that gold in ASAP, possibly the early hunting dogs, because there is no double wood treasure here. On the other side, there's actually 40 wood. I think he'll be quite pleased with that, but he's going to find 160 XP. He's going to crack shot that right away, and he's going to get that off to a flying start. I think that's going to be a really good treasure, actually, early on. If he can get that in before the 3 villagers arrive. Not able to creep that. It might... this could end up... He needs to ideally get that in before... the villagers, but actually now going to get on the map. Kaza, on the other hand, playing the Sioux. That explorer rocketing off immediately to the other side of the map. He's found a treasure that he likes, 80 food, and he's going to go straight for that and grab himself an outlaw rifleman as well. So, 2 very different styles. Prince staying in base, getting those nice early treasures, doing a bit of scouting before getting out on the map, and the Sioux rocketing off into the wilderness to find whatever it is he might find. A drift of terrapin worth 90 food. They've drifted a long way, Mitoe. That's quite far from the coast, but 90 food nonetheless, going to be quite strong for Hazza. He's going to be pleased to find that. And that is the initial starting here. 150 coin for Prince. So, and he's got his market down. Where's he going?
He's been trying to kite this 150 coin treasure for a while, and he's reset it a couple times already. So
he's just like, screw this, I'm going.
Now that his crack shots up, it looks like he's going to be returning to that 160 XP up top.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying to grab 2 treasures at the same time, which is not ideal. But he's going to get that 160 XP. I don't think it's going to make much difference to his first shipment, which he's already
unfortunately, only the polar bears are going to be contributing to that. But still a nice pickup for him overall. It will be helping him in early colonial. And I think normally, like we were talking about in the first game of this series, normally people lately have been sort of neglecting the treasures and stuff inside their own base and sort of getting out into the map and being very active in the early game, trying to contest treasures and just find out where everything is. Unfortunately, that native scout is going to be dying. Yeah, goodbye, friend.
What was his name?
And I think... I didn't see.
Jonathan. Rip Jonathan.
Rip Jonathan. But I think Prince maybe was sort of picking France, wanting to be more active on this map. Like, he probably wanted to be able to abuse that native scout to win fights over treasures and sort of figure out where everything on the map is. And Sioux, as a response to that, especially on this map where there tends to be some treasures with outlaw riflemen. Sometimes there's some native treasures like tomahawks and the Cherokee and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty much impossible for Prince to win H1. unfortunately, the rifleman is going to die, so that's going to be pretty good for him.
And can he kill himself on the... Oh, no, this looks like they're going... And the polar bear goes down as well, so taking out all those really strong guardians. These wolves, all very low HP. That area damage could be really quite effective. Who's going to get the treasure? Bit of a contention here going. I think Blue's definitely got that, but now...
Prince got it.
Yeah, 150 coin. That's really, really nice. Is he going to try and get out of here, though? Or I guess without the trading... The guardians there, the Sioux Explorer, who is quite low hit points now, actually can't contest the European Explorer, so... Who's able to snare this native scout. Looks like he is managing to pull trick away, though. Nicely done there, using the excessive speed of I'm Your Deception. That is his name. Trading post going down here from the red player. Blue does not see that, though. I imagine he is off to get the trading post in the very bottom of the map here and is not worried about contesting what red is. But both players are now aging up, I believe. Let's take a look at the text being researched. That is correct. Hazza almost there. And Blue not quite... as there, but both nonetheless going for trading posts.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm going to have to eat my words, because I did just say that it's pretty much impossible for France to win this early game, but he did actually get quite a few good treasures, the 150 coin and the 100 XP, and killing off that outlaw rifleman, so he is going to be able to get the TP up safely. That's often one concern when you play a Civ that's reliant on TPs against Sioux, is that if they have any of those strong early guardians, like the rifleman or any native treasures or anything like that, you're going to have a really hard time getting that TP up. But he does actually come out ahead. Well, not ahead, but he comes out even in Age 1. Unfortunately, he did lose his own Jonathan. He might get the Sioux Jonathan, though.
No, this one's not Jonathan. That's Joseph.
No, that's Jonathan.
Actually, it's Witcher Scout. That's his name. Oh, that one's Jonathan. That was his brother, I see.
Once you become a native scout, your name is officially changed to Jonathan. So.
I feel like we're using our Western cultural names. It feels a bit. I don't know what the right word is. They can't all be called Jonathan, Mitoe. We have to represent everyone evenly.
Jonathan is a very Sioux-esque name. Come on.
All right.
No, anyway,
four Axe Riders coming out as, by the looks of it, the Sioux first shipment here, racing across the map, past these two trading posts, and now going to be entering the opponent's base here. House does just go down, so that's not going to be stopped. Blue does see this, going to go straight into the town centre. Those three gathering the food, not worried about them. Has exactly, not 10, 14 villagers in here, doing damage to these units. Going past the stable, that might be a bit risky, though. Only 4 Axe Riders and 5 Cav could pop out potentially, I don't know. Looks like, though, he's not too worried about that. Checking the back on this muskox, does not find any villagers. There is, however, one CDB on the gold mine here. Looks like Prince does notice that, taking it into the very corner of the map there, and it does survive. Hazza not going to find that today. Coming back in with the Axe Riders now. Let's take a look at units in queue. There are 3 Hussars. I wonder if he can get all 5 out here. Attacking the CDB, it does go into the town centre. 700 wood on the floor. No villagers being killed. 3 Huss do come out, and Hazza now leaving the base here.
Yeah, it was a good trade for Hazza for sure. He aged up a villager early, so he knew that he had the tempo advantage with that 4 Axe Rider shipment and could deny a lot of resources. As a result, Prince only gets out 3 Hussars. 1 CDB going down to that raid, despite how close it was to the town center. That's one thing you always got to watch out for when you're playing against Sioux. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good start for Hazza. The 4 Axe Riders definitely did a reasonable bit of damage. 3 Hussars from Prince are going to be off to the Sioux base to try and kill some villagers of their own. But with the Bow Riders production, does he have any more Bow Riders in queue? He does have more Bow Riders.
He's got a couple in queue and 3 across the map now joining the party here. Keeping Blue idled up.
Mm-hmm. And this is part of the risk of going for the Hussar start, is you could potentially be in your town center for a very long time while you commit to those Hussars. And Bow Riders are popping out at home, so this raid might get off.
1 villager does go down, and now going to get one out of there. 1 loses 1 Hussar. 1 Huss for 1 Vill. Gonna go for a second.
The villager actually managed to garrison just in time.
Damn.
Yeah, so he is going to lose a Vill here for the cost of 3 Hussars. But definitely a better trade for Hazza overall. Yeah,
that doesn't feel all that good. Relative to, I suppose, what Red has managed to achieve here. The raiding civilization, though, I suppose. Going to start sieging down this house. Now leaving. by the looks of it. The Sioux Explorer, what's he up to? I feel like he ought to be with them, supplying extra speed, but maybe he's just clearing up the last few black bits on the map, seeing where the resources are, perhaps any interesting treasures, something like that. Worth pointing out, there is only one Axe Rider left here, and Bow Riders do have a negative multiplier against the CDBs, which have absolutely wonderful ranged resist and lots of HP there. Is he going to get that last Vil? No, does garrison just in time. This is a little bit awkward for the French player. Not losing too many Vils, but is being idled up. This is not ideal.
Yeah, it's definitely good for Hazza, but despite all the pressure, unfortunately, Deception is going to die there. But Prince is up to the Fortress Age. He does not have a Rax yet, but he will have access to maybe a 5 goon shipment or something like that once he is up. You know, it's not easy to get the resources to age when you've got Bow Riders under your town center the whole game, so that's going to be nice for him. Hazza's not really anywhere near aging just yet. He's actually training war clubs from his warhead in the middle of the map here. Probably going to be looking to clean up that trading post, maybe grab the stagecoach line or something relatively soon. He did just tip 700 coin. He might be gathering to age, but he will not have the resources to age for a little while longer. And I believe there is a 5 Dragoon shipment on the way for Prince, so once that arrives, his villagers will have a little bit more freedom to sort of escape the confines of this town center.
Yeah, he's really having a hard time gathering, but did manage to get up to the Fortress Age, and yes, Dragoons are going to... will that be all that effective, though? Do you not think Skirmishers might be a better choice, given that it's mostly Bow Riders there? Or is that a bit... That is what he's gone for, 8 Skirmishers arriving, and he's got in queue 2 Dragoons. So certainly Skirmish is going to be good against the units that Hazza has here, but Dragoons, I think, in general, just safer. Is that what you were thinking? Obviously, they can escape more easily, and they're not as vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I personally would have gone for goons, but skirmishers. Wow, I can't even talk today. I keep like messing up my sentences. But skirmishers are pretty good too. It is going to be a little bit risky to come out on the map here, just if there are some Axe Riders. But I guess he's
pot shot
he's
one.
Pretty confident that Sioux is aging here. So
that was beautiful. Manages to take a shot with the Dragoons, and the Bow Riders don't really do any damage back because they have that animation to fire, whereas Dragoons do not. So actually, interestingly, you can just run in there and pot shot with Goons. A couple of skirms as well. I don't know if they've necessarily been seen. Either way, though, not wanting to commit near this trading post, since, of course, the war hut is there and the army's fairly even in size. Let's take a look at the back of the base here. Hazza actually up to the Fortress Age as well. A couple of red units there have been spotted by the Dragoons. They're now going to come and head them off here. Looks like not too many units there, but the interesting thing, I suppose, Hazza up to the next age. He can get his upgrades in. We see 4 Axe Riders have just been created. A few TPs at home, boosting the... I forgot about these. I'm not used to casting Sioux games on the EP, but yes. They're pretty fun, I suppose.
TP's pretty strong.
Yeah, the trouble is, when we say TP, we think of trading post, but we also mean TP, as in TP, which is literally...
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate their meta now. It makes it a little bit harder to cast Sioux games, but...
Maybe we should make more of an effort to say trading post. Anyway, looks like Dragoons are going down here, being shot at. Does lose 2 Goons. That's really not going to be too good. I think 3 Goons, actually. More joining, though, fortunately. The Skirmish is going to try and do some damage here. But that's Tana Cavalry joining the fray. Not all of them are Axe Riders, though, so maybe he can get away here. But those Skirms, the Forest Prowler's doing a good job. Do they move faster? I'm not sure. This is not good for Prince, though. He's a little bit out of position. These units bleeding out, trying to escape, just being shot at, and this is awful.
Yeah, not a good trade at all for Prince, unfortunately. He could have maybe pulled those skirmishers away, but it looked like he might have been a little bit distracted in his base or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. So that is going to be a good pickup for Hazza. And this might end up being sort of a similar situation to last game. I mean, Prince does still have the production he needs to continue training skirmishers. He has 2 Raxes up. But after losing those skirmishers, it's going to be difficult for him to ever have an advantage in the skirm war. But Goon's coming in here, getting a couple good shots off on the Wakina. So he picks off 2 Wakina for the cost of 1 Goon. That's definitely good. And he's playing pretty aggressively. Like his villagers are pretty exposed, I guess. They had to leave the base already. So Axe Rider's getting onto the skirms, though.
Yeah, this is pile time. And once you're up close and personal with goons as well, this is quite good for Cav. Lots of bow riders mixed in there as well. A few more skirmishers joining the fray. He's going to need them versus the bow riders, but there's a lot of axe riders still there. The goons need to focus them down, but they're on top of them, and that is not looking good. This could be the game-ending fight here for Prince of Kabul. This is... Having said that, though, how many axe riders are left? Can he kill the... I mean, he's going to lose all his units, that's for sure, but can he trade off reasonably, or is this just absolutely...
This is pretty bad. I was going to say that I think part of the reason Prince was being so aggressive was because all of his CDBs are kind of having to leave the base for the gold and food out front here. And GG is called. But yeah, I think he wanted to make sure that those villagers could continue to gather safely, and I think maybe he underestimated how many units Sioux could get as well. And yeah, as a result, he gets caught here, and unfortunately, he knows he's not going to be able to train enough units to defend any of these resources, and that's going to be the game. So,
can I clarify? Yeah. Do bow riders? They don't. I thought they had a negative multiplier versus villages. Is that not the case anymore, or never has been the case?
No, that was only the case on the Age Sanctuary fan patch a long time ago, I believe.
Oh.
Part of the reason bow riders are so obnoxious is because they don't have a multiplier against. Or negative multiplier against villagers, whereas other ranged cavalry units do. So CDB tend to be pretty good at surviving against bow riders compared to other villagers.
Yeah,
but,
I suppose, but because of the range resist, but still, that's interesting. Dragoons, though, have a negative multiplier, should they?
Should bow riders have a negative multiplier?
Or should dragoons? I suppose they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's one of the advantages you get for playing Sioux, I guess, right? Like, you have a very mobile army, and so you're able to apply a lot of pressure, and part of the pressure comes from that lack of a negative multiplier. Maybe it'll be changed in the future. It might be a little bit too much, especially with Sioux now having the TPs and stuff to help them out in fights as well. They might not need the raiding pressure as much as they used to. But,
anyway,
yeah.
I was spreading misinformation, that cursed.
Anyway, Hazard's taking the series pretty convincingly, actually, 3-1 after dropping the first game, so pretty solid play from him overall, and he will be continuing to the round of 8, I believe.
Oh, that's the end, is it?
Yeah, no, best of 5, not best of 7, so...
Yeah, I'm used to best of 7s. Damn.
Yeah, you're usually around for the later stages of the tournament. So,
well, I casted SmackDown for a very long time, and that was...
oh, that's true as well.
Best of 7. I think if SmackDown returns, best of 7 might not be the best idea. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the ESOC Autumn Championship 2018. That was a round of 16 match between Hazza 5-4-3-2-1 and Prince of Kabul. Hazza progressing through to the next round. Who will his opponent be, or do we not know that yet?
Hazza? Oh, me, of course.
Oh, really?
I haven't actually played my round of 16
match
match
yet,
yet,
I see.
I believe that I play him in the round of 8 if I manage to. I refuse to believe that there's anyone else he could possibly be playing next round. So be sure to watch that. It'll be an easy 4-0.
Yeah.